Okay, so let me explain. Anger, the way I see it, I will give you this. Someone asked me about anger, and I'm gonna tell you what it is. For me, it doesn't mean because I said it. It make it so. Decipher it for yourself and understand it for your own selves. For me, anger always comes from a painful place, for a painful point of life which has shifted in anger. Anger comes from the dark stories that we could not speak about, from unjust judgment, unjust situation, unfairly judged, neglect, every those situations that has caused us pain from deep down within, which we couldn't explain because we have believed at some point that this is a normal thing, a normal way of living, or a normal act to accept our own emotions. And anger comes from someone who has abused us emotionally, because abuse ain't always physical. Abuse comes from emotional abuse, mentally abuse, which they break your spirit. They will break you inside out, because once anger will be built up inside oneself, then we have to burst, and then we will start acting as an angry being, as that kind, like it will be shown on all our faces, our energies, and how we will be walking, and with that grumpy faces, it will be like so much stuff comes out from anger. But anger always comes from pain. A bitter person is so different than an angry being. A bitter person is someone that is bitter, that is sour, that he happens to be who he happens to be, bitter from within themselves, that can be changed, that takes different kind of approach of healing, but that have to fall into acceptance. Mostly bitter people would want fame and attention and so many stuff, which they will be put in a way of, they will start to put so much manipulations and stuff like that. But an angry being, an angry person, it is not because that person happens to be dark, that person because he happens to be shallow or dominant or bossy or whatever they are happen to be called. No, an angry person happens to be someone that he owns so much pain within himself, which it may be that the way they see life around them, how it is unfolding, the way that life was with them, that made them angry. And this is not because they demand to be treated right, but they know that they are being treated wrong, but they stay, they accepted it, and of course they become angry. And anger, to release the anger, only the truth shall set us free. Go search in those places where you was neglected, where you was unjustly judged. Search out for those places from where it's coming, and you can see that so many anger built inside it happens that it have started from a very long time ago. Search for that point where you was happy. Search for that point where everything has shifted. Search for that point when you start to, last point, you remember when did times change, and then you can start to reflect from where it's coming, because you will start to remember who has treated you poorly, who has made you believe that it is fine, who has put you this kind of illusion inside your mind, who has gave you the gift, or mostly the curse, of this characteristic. Because many are walking traumas, believing that they happen to be who they happen to be, which no, you ain't that. That is coming from a point of the past. And mostly, if people don't know your own human designs, you are bound to live in a life full of confusion and a blind, by walking blind, not knowing where you can fit. You can never fit because you don't know who you are. For example, to know that you happen to be a manifester, you will start to understand so much of your life. I understood it from where it's coming and why I was the way it was and how my life unfolded. I used to create so many escapes so I can run away from my own reality, which then I realized so much by studying my own human design. Or, for example, if you happen to be a generator, then you are someone that you will be frustrated, living in frustration, which you believe that is anger, which know that is the frustration in yourself that is triggering the anger side of you. Because you will be frustrated, not fitting in, even though you want to be with people and still you can fit in. That happens to be triggered from a point of because you don't know who you happen to be. Search for those stuff, loves. And when I say only the truth shall set us free, it is not because it is a quote from the Bible. It is because it truly is. If you go to a priest, you will start telling, priests are for these things, the Catholic Church. So one will go to a priest and one will explain what he did wrong. Which, when one will start to speak his wrongdoing, in no matter in what kind of vibe, if it will be anger, one has act in anger, then once that anger will be purged, one won't have any other choice but to fall in that side of pain inside himself. Then you will start to feel the pain. Then you will start to get emotionally attached again, intact, not attached, intact, with that kind of trauma in order to be set free, in order to be released. One will sit with it, you will start to feel it, it will hurt, of course, because then you will start to recognize from where it's coming and you will start to understand, I did not deserve that, and then you will start to fall into victim mentality for a period of time, but then walk out from that space. The victim mentality won't do you no good, but more of so harm. Don't fall in that space, be with it, sit with it. You are allowed to know that you happen to be a victim at one point, but then understand that you are not that victim, you are the survivor who now has walked out from where you was to where you are now. Because if you have lived upon till this day and yesterday have passed, then you have walked through everything in life already. You already made it. It's just in your mind. You have everything built up inside your mind, which it can release. And now it feels that this is a burden, it feels that it's exhausting. And now the illusion that everything that happened, it formed inside of you, which you believe you happen to be that kind of character, which no, you ain't that character. It's just you don't know how you can walk out from inside yourselves, because it's easy to walk out from stories in the physical. You can do it whenever you want, just like that, in a second. But the trick is that to walk out energetically, and energetically the past can walk with us for a lifetime, years. You may be suffering a story that has happened 10 years ago, and you believe that, and the trigger, something will come up as how it was prior, and you believe it is the new story that is triggering you, but no, it is the act that it was done much prior ago, which you have never healed that side of you. That's why so many lessons will keep repeating themselves, even if the same lesson will be repeated under different face of who it was. For example, if one will cheat on you and you go with another one, and that other cheat on you and the other one cheat on you, and then you will start to believe that everyone outside of you happens to be the same. No, they are not the same. It happens that you have never changed within yourselves, because to have gone through into the exact same pattern, then you did not learn yet to recognize the red flag, or you recognize it and still you stayed. Because many go by, I knew that it was coming, I felt it, but I thought I'm this and that, which no, keep stop justifying everything you see. That's why many keep getting hurt, and that's why many keeps getting angry in so many ways, and many keeps getting hurt, and that is pain. And pain, if not expressed, will turn into anger. Healthy anger it's very beneficial to be expressed, because if you contain it in it, you will turn into a ticking bomb, which one way or another it has to be purged out. You can contain it. Anger can be contained.